Hello and welcome to Baseplate Reviews. I'm going to be away from my house and in Calgary for a couple of days, so I wanted to get a review of something that's not too huge of a build done before I headed, and I thought about what was in my backlog. I actually have 3 of this set, 40582 4x4 Off-Road Ambulance Rescue, so I think this is a good one to do. I don't have 3 of it because I think it's the best set ever, but instead this was a gift with purchase on at least 2 occasions last year, and I stacked this up with some other promos and ended up with 3. It sits in the LEGO City range and is notionally priced at $20 US, 25 Canadian or 18 British pounds. There's actually currently a somewhat similar LEGO City set, Emergency Ambulance and Snowboarder 60403, priced at this exact mark, so it'll be interesting to see how this matches up. Looking on eBay, it does seem that you can get this gift with purchase set for around or cheaper than that price. That one's a 4 Plus set, so it comes with a simplified chassis piece and a grille that's just a printed tile rather than built up, but I think looks decent for such a simplified build. Anyway, on to the build of this one. So here we go, the 4x4 Off-Road Ambulance Rescue. Looks pretty fun set, but let's get it open, see what we're working with and get it built. So we've got 2 bags, a tiny sticker sheet, just with those logos on the side of the ambulance, and a nice little booklet. This should be a pretty straightforward build, so let's get it done. The build for this was pretty straightforward as predicted, taking just 15 minutes and everything easy enough to put together. The final product is fine, I think. The nature of having to fit a stretcher and patient plus 2 paramedic minifigs into the vehicle does mean it is a little elongated, but I do have to remember that this isn't just a regular ambulance, but instead an off-road specific one. So although I think of ambulances as being pretty boxy, this one probably shouldn't be. As I said, the stretcher slides right into the back of the vehicle with that hinged piece at the back that folds down or up to open or close. The stretcher kind of does and doesn't fit at the same time, because although it slides in nicely, you are left with the handles just poking out from the back either side of that aforementioned piece that folds up or down. I think that's okay as it lets it be played with, but I think if I was having the ambulance in my city, I'd leave the stretcher out and may even try to replace that back piece with some kind of door instead. The set comes with a little side build of a tree and rock with maybe a branch sticking out. I think the idea is that the off-road cyclist has caught his wheels on that sticking out branch and done himself a misfortune. This didn't need to be in the set but is a welcome addition, and I'll happily add the pieces to my parts collection. The bike is nice with those big off-road wheels, and it's a decent dark blue colour too. In terms of the minifigures, both paramedics are identical in terms of legs and torsos, as they should be as they're uniformed characters. The female minifig has a nice hair and cap piece, and no alternate face, but the face that it does have seems very apt for being a paramedic. The male paramedic minifig has a somewhat inappropriately joyous face, like he's delighted to be attending disaster after disaster. We've got a nice enough hairpiece here, but no alternate face. The cyclist/accident victim comes with a bike of course, and a helmet, but no hairpiece for when the helmet's taken off. We do though get a cast piece for his arm, and there's a decent alternate face piece conveying the horror of what I like to think is a hideous compound fracture injury caused by his foolish risk-taking actions. The off-road ambulance vehicle is of course the main part of the set, and like I said it does feel a bit long and narrow, but it does convey the off-road element of the set well with those wheels and decent lights on the headlights, and also above the windscreen/windshield too. The best thing here is that the internal capacity fits all 3 minifigs in well, with a paramedic being able to face the patient while standing right behind the driver. The colours of the set are pretty good. I'm not personally a fan of luminous yellow that LEGO City Emergency Services have recently introduced, but I can't argue that it's not more realistic than the yellows they were using before. I just preferred it that way. Overall, I'd say this set's pretty decent, and if you can pick this up at some of the prices I've seen on eBay and are looking for an ambulance to add to a display, then it's pretty good value with 3 minifigs and that tree included. My city layout doesn't have a hospital, and shush, don't tell anyone, but I don't want this year's modular to be a hospital either. But I think this will fit in perfectly well. Not every town has a hospital or emergency department, so the ambulance could be dispatched from elsewhere anyway. I probably wouldn't have bought this if it had been in stores, but as a gift with purchase I'm pretty happy. I might modify it if I can find the right pieces, but if not it'll do just fine. Did any of you get this as a gift with purchase? And if so, what did you make of it? Let me know in the comments below. I think it's probably the best ambulance of the last few years, but maybe that's not a high bar to beat. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick build and review, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and as always, be good.